Hi, Dean. Looks like I have two of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you
It's
are
Zoom is still trying to get me fully connected.
Recording in progress.
Oh, goodness. I do have two of me.
Hi, Emmeline.
Good morning.
We have two deans this morning, so we'll, we'll see.
I'm going to go out and come back in. Maybe there'll be three of me then.
Okay.
Th- three times the knowledge.
That's right. um, I'm removing the note takers. Actually, I don't really mind the note takers as long as they're accompanied by people.
I've never used the note taker, so I don't know if I show up as one or not, but I don't think so.
Nope, nope. You're
Okay,
you.
I'm here.
Helen will not be joining us this morning. In fact, she won't be joining us for the next 2 weeks after this as well. She has extra duty to do with extra shift, whatever you want to call it, with mailbox power because mailbox power has been especially busy of late.
Oh,
Good morning, Peggy.
Good morning.
hi, Peggy.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see everybody.
Are you still in Colorado, Emlyn?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be here until after my surgery. So,
Good.
yeah. Well, it's good, but I'm also very nervous about being gone so long from my house down there without anybody being there. So, just trying to manage everything from such a distance. It's tough. So
Yeah, worrying doesn't help.
no.
Where did I put your book?
We have more people coming in.
That's good. Thank you. Oh, I have to tell you about Marcy, if you don't mind, while you're
Yes,
taking
please
Oh,
people
I'd
do.
in.
love to hear about her. I sent her a message yesterday. Yeah.
So, Marcy, I call Marcy. Marcy calls me back. I'm asking how she's doing, and what does she do? She jumps right into business. Like you would never know she was injured or hurt or been through surgery or was still in the hospital. Nope. She just jumped right into business. I'm like, okay, I would have done the same thing. I started to get impatient. I'm like, no, this is just what I would do too. Who cares about the injury? She'll get better.
Yeah.
She's funny. She's very
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
So
Anyway.
she's got moved to a rehabilitative facility, didn't
At the
she?
time I talked to her, she's still in the hospital, but she should be in rehabilitation by now.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to go through that, and then you get to go home. And
Yeah.
she's in a one-story home, so she'll be able to go home.
Oh,
Oh,
that's good.
that's a good
My
deal.
my friend lived in a two-story, so she could go home until she put a chairlift in
Wow.
for $9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Boy,
we had to do that for my mom. And boy, it's not cheap.
it's not cheap. And I wonder if you could buy it or get it for free on the Facebook marketplace.
You
Well,
never
people
know.
give stuff away. I'm getting divorced. I was just because I got this box spring to get rid of. So I was just looking to see what's there. People are like, I'm divorced. Here's all this stuff. It's free. Just take it. I mean, page after page after page after page. You can furnish your whole house, do all your appliances. I'm telling you.
She could probably resell it after she doesn't need it anymore if she so chooses, because when we ended up having to get us one for my mom, she only lived 2 weeks later. And then and then we had just spent thousands and thousands of dollars and then had to have it removed. So, but I know there is a marketplace for people and they're willing to pay for it.
Yeah,
It's
this
just,
is all free. Free.
oh, well, but
Just
I'm
come pick
saying,
it up.
yeah,
Except for
but
the hook it up part, yes.
yeah, you've got it. Yeah, that's part of the big deal.
Yeah, I'm getting divorced. It's free. How can we have AI work with that? Huh.
Actually, all right, I'll go ahead and officially start. Ask me about OpenAI Open Office Hour. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Terza Ekholm. My co host won't be joining us for this week and the next 2 weeks. She's doing additional work with Mailbox Power because they're awfully busy for the rest of the month with their exciting stuff. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get started. First, what we like to start with is going around the room and asking what are you doing with AI this week?
Hmm.
Mm. Well,
Go ahead, Peggy.
I'm still working on my syllabus, and I actually realized after I put a lot of things together that I don't know what people want. So why am I wasting my time on writing something when that may not be what people want? So I'm going back. I asked Chat to put, or one of them, Perplexity, to put together like the state of Michigan, the state of New York, all the states that now require students to graduate with having a personal financial not budget, but course. They can't graduate without it. I'm like,
oh, that's good.
yes, perfect timing. Oh,
That's
what did they want? Like that.
that's
So do they want a
great.
syllabus where it'll actually be taught in the classroom, or will online work for them, or what is it that, how's that requirement going to work? And then there's also a place where I can, which I haven't put an application in yet, but where it'll be actually it'll be certified nationwide, the course. So I'm happy about that. So I've learned a lot this week. I just haven't implemented it yet. So thank you for that.
No, that's wonderful. And Perplexity is your main tool, right?
I use Claude, I use all three. It
Oh,
depends on
okay.
what I'm doing. If I'm really searching for things that I need, and there's some complication, I use Perplexity. Otherwise, I use Claude and Chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very cool.
thank you.
Yeah.
Here's for some reason this morning, your volume is very low. I don't know if anybody else is having a little trouble hearing you. I turned my volume way up, but
I,
No, thanks for that feedback. I don't know how to turn up my microphone volume, but I did increase my speaker volume. Is that any better?
it's about the same.
Oh,
But I
I
might be
have no
the only
problem.
one.
Yeah, I have no problem. Anybody else?
okay.
Okay, I'm gonna get hearing aids.
I just turned up my speaker volume.
I don't know, you're a little lower than most weeks, but it's not like you can't hear you.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I had one of the things that I was trying to experiment with this morning was turning on voice mode for ChatGPT. I have it on my phone. I can talk to ChatGPT on my phone, and it will answer me back. On my computer, I can dictate to ChatGPT, but it will answer back in text. So I
Interesting.
don't know if that's a contributing factor. I'm just tossing it out there. So,
I noticed that when I'm using voice mode on my computer with ChatGPT, it doesn't warn you at all. It just uses your tokens up like 3 times the normal.
oh,
So if you don't absolutely need to talk, I type and my sessions last a lot longer.
that's great feedback.
Yeah, it's good to
Yeah.
know.
Wow. Okay. Always good and interesting stuff. Um, anyone else? What else? What else are you doing with AI this week?
I've just been continuing my project and then my uh, down to the almost being finished with my new booklet that I'm going to be putting out, and my VA just said, "Oh, I'm going to be out of town for 2 weeks. Sorry." So
No.
that's okay. I'm working on some other projects that will move me forward. So yeah, it's all okay. So,
Okay, good. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning. Happy Friday again.
Happy Happy Friday. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so we're
So
just going
I've
around.
been continuing to I'm getting a deeper understanding of Claude Cowork the more I work with it. And my I think my focus this week has been on giving Claude Cowork new skills. And um, I don't know. I am getting more in some ways. I'm getting more progress with the free tools. For example, ChatGPT. I use the free ChatGPT. I have a paid subscription, the Pro plan with Claude, and I have my office or my work center, whatever we call it, with Gemini. So I'm paying for Gemini, but not that much. I have a full subscription for Claude. And what I'm finding, and Claude and I have discussed this, is if I ask Claude for help writing a blog, okay, it will do what I ask it to do. And that's pretty much it. But when I do the same thing, let's say in Gemini, and I want help writing a blog, halfway through, Gemini will say, "Well, what else are you doing with this blog?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean? I need to write this blog and post it on my website." And it'll say, "Well, really, you should be getting a lot more marketing mileage out of this. You should be having the blog on your website, and from that blog, I can write teaser articles for you for Instagram and for Facebook, and just give people enough information to strike curiosity and have them click on a link, bringing them back to your website to read your blog. And how many social media accounts do you have?" And I would tell them, and okay, so here's what I'll do. We'll make this a 4-part marketing plan for you. And I go back to Claude. I go, "Why aren't you? I'm paying for you full, retail. Why aren't you suggesting this stuff?" And so it's been kind of frustrating. I'm gonna initiate a weekly newsletter, and what I thought would take me a couple of days has taken me almost 2 weeks now, because there's about 15 sources I need information from. I want to make sure it's accurate, and I have to take Claude Cowork by the hand each step of the way. And so what I've been, let me go back to my focus here. So my focus has been, let me give Claude the skills it needs to assist me better.
Mhm.
And so I'm actually writing the skills with ChatGPT and Gemini, and then I present that skill to Claude to turn it, it's more of a prompt, than a skill, right? And then I put it all into, gave it to Claude, and Claude put it in the skills folder and everything. Said, "Dean, you're all set." Everything. The very next day, I want to do something that applies that skill, and Claude is like 2 cups of coffee behind me. And, and I'm like, "Claude, I just gave you this new skill. Why aren't you invoking it?" "Well, Dean, that's really not a true skill." I'm like, "What do you mean? You put it in the skills folder. You told me I was all set." He says, "Well, it's more of a guideline and a prompt, and there's nothing that triggers it. I have to know it's there. I have to be told to go look for it, and this and that and everything else." So this is a learning process, guys. We all have to go through, and unfortunately, we're all on our own. There's nobody. Well, there are people that will help you behind a paywall, sure. But so what I learned is And you have to learn by stubbing your toe is the way you learn. And so I learned now that I gave him like four new skills that I spent a good 6 hours on, Um, and all four of those are not legitimate skills. They're just kind of like prompts. So the other night, I spent time with him getting two of those, turning them into actual skills. And then the next step was I learned the following day after that, I didn't have a trigger mechanism to make him use the skills. So it's really an ongoing type thing. And so that's the negative. The positive is I am teaching him step by step the different real estate processes that I do, and then I test him. And there's this one process that it takes me from start to finish. I have to go to two or three different websites plus the where I'm putting the information and then composing it takes me a good hour and a half to 2 hours each time I do it. And so what I did is I broke it up into three different skills for Claude. One is going to the one website. How do you get that information of the property address and this and that and how many comps and all that. And then we stopped that. And then another process was how do you capture? I can get up to 100 contacts, emails, and all that from that website. And then I gave him a third skill, which we sat side by side, and I showed him how to upload all of those, the CSV file, format, and upload it into my CRM, into GHL. So slowly by slowly, I mean, in another month, either I'm going to be stressed out or I'm going to be able to sit back and have a cup of coffee and Claude is going to be doing a lot of my busy work for me. So it's kind of it's an interesting journey.
I would be curious to see how what you're doing, Dean, compares to what Terza. You use those agents already built in on that other website, I think it was, with the
Marblism, right?
Marblism. Yeah, because it sounds to me like you're creating your own very specific workflow and skill sets for Claude. Whereas Marblism said, well, we try to make something general that anybody could use, but you still have to customize each of their little agents.
So,
Yeah,
So,
Paul, I would kind of look at it like the old story of the turtle and the rabbit or whatever at the starting line. Marblism is way ahead of me. That you have a blog writer, you have this, you have that, and you have a marketing person and a receptionist and all that way ahead of me. Um, and then as I go on, the Marblism is, I looked at it and it really is, you have to conform to within its parameters. And I wanted something that I could customize, per my exact needs. Now, is it the smart decision? In 3 months from now, I'll tell you. But if you only had 30 days, Marblism is the way to go. If you have a lot of time to develop something, then 6 months from now, I'm going to be miles ahead. But, so it really,
yes, to answer your question, Paul, Marblism hasn't developed something specific to real estate, but what is happening is that real estate agents using Marblism are not only customizing it for themselves, they're posting what they're doing and their results in the Marblism Facebook
oh,
groups.
how about that? I need to pay attention to those groups.
I'd be glad to share them with you, Dean.
Because I'm doing, if that's the case, I'm doing a lot of extra work.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you share that with me too, please, Tirza?
Sure, I'll put them in my next newsletter. I have to confess, similar to Dean, maybe I've been working so much on getting my community cards business up and running with AI and being out in the community, all those things, that I haven't devoted enough time here to open office hour. So even though I did publish two old June open office hour videos to my YouTube channel, I haven't gotten any farther than that. So And the reason I did those is because ChatGPT had already done the work. It was just waiting for me to just post the thing. So, anyway.
Hmm.
So, I feel for you, Dean, because AI is so much help to me, but I've got a list of tasks to accomplish each day. So anyway, thank you for that, Paul, because that was an excellent question. Um, Marblism does continue to march forward, and its users are marching forward. So I will share either the specific chats or at least the Facebook groups where you can go find out what the other real estate people are doing. So awesome. What else? What else are people doing?
I'm doing, we're planning for a trip in September. We're going to take a cruise around Japan. So, yeah, the port's the call. So, if you have the opportunity to take the cruise ship excursion, which is usually double the price or cost of doing an excursion on your own. So, using Gemini and Copilot on the assistants there. And sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good, but that was Gemini crafted a letter to a taxi company at our first port of call, and was able to send that off to them, and they replied back, said, "Sure, this is our cost, blah blah blah." And yeah, it's basically it's a taxi for hire for the day, and they take you to places and hang out while you go, tour the museum or the, the castle. So yeah, just little things like that. So not paying for anything. In fact, I'm looking at canceling my subscription to Perplexity. I just don't use it enough consistently. And then my side project, which is really the in-depth, it's kind of what Dean is doing, except I'm at the infrastructure of skill building using Hermes and coming up with understanding is the LLMs, and in a nutshell, an LLM is a stateless machine. It knows nothing about well, see, that's the hard part to describe. It's not situationally aware. It has no self-awareness or even know where it's at. It's just a model. You throw something at it, call it a prompt, or lots of tokens, strings of text or text strings, and it goes through its weights and comes back with what it thinks by probability, what are the next words, characters that come out. And it has no memory that it just did that. So, right. And so the motto is really, think about a stateless machine, and people are talking about our LLM as consciousness. They're a part of the brain. They're the knowledge core. Think of it as, you can ask it something and it will come back with something, but it doesn't know anything. It can't do muscle movement. It doesn't know concept of time or past or future or present. So all those things are what these harnesses build around it. And Hermes is this one harness that I'm working with. Claude skills or all the other things that people do is really coming down to is what is the prompt with everything else that comes up, the system prompt that we're not privy to most of the time, the other prompts that give it some sort of specialization about you or how you like it to behave on the output. That prompt goes in there and then something comes out. Now there's a feedback loop that they have with the harness that will then take what it feeds back out, says, is it good, not good, is it right, and feed it back in with additional inputs until it comes back out at you in some form that you like or it thinks you might like. So it's interesting how this, we get involved, we get emotional about these LLMs, but there's nothing behind them. So,
Right. Right. No, that's you. The way you described it, Paul, was just wonderful. I like that situational awareness. I suspect, though, some of the AIs that I've been working with go check the time because when I wake up in the middle of the night and go ask a question, it now says it's 3 a. Did you know it was 3 a.m.?
yeah. Why are you awake? Well, and that goes with that the people who built the harnesses around the model says, okay, you queried something, let's inject a timestamp in there. Let's inject, your what locale you're in. And they've got your profile saying you live in Colorado or someplace. And then it comes back and, oh, by the way, be nice somewhere in there. And what does be nice mean? But, all the words that come after that.
Yes,
What's
that's right.
interesting, Paul, is I mean, you have some really great observations here. What I've learned so far, and I'm only working with Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude, but what I've learned so far is there's situational awareness, and some of those LLMs have more than others, but none of them, as I have experienced it, have any concept of time. I'll start something at 10 o'clock at night that I was thinking about at 7:30. And next thing I know, it's 1:30 a.m. And I'll be working at 10:30, and by 11:30 go, hey Gemini, it's been an hour. You still haven't given me this or that. We're still dancing around the topic of what I'm trying to, and they go, well, I don't know it's been an hour. And they'll
Right.
just tell me, I don't know it's been an hour. And I said, or I'll say, how could you forget this? We just talked about it 5 minutes ago. And they go, well, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 days ago, I really don't know that, and that kind of blew me away,
Yeah.
that it doesn't
Yeah.
have a concept of time.
Well, conceptually, it doesn't know anything about current, what is present. It is, think of it, and this here again, it's hard to describe or to articulate. It is almost like a fancy calculator, a programmable calculator. If you
Yeah,
remember back in the day, you could program in a little equation to do, AP, your percentage rate on a loan. You plug in one number and it will spit out, here's your loan rate, the percentage of how much you're going to pay in interest per year. It's just an equation, but you couldn't ask the calculator, well, don't you remember we did this last time and you came up with a slightly different answer? So the calculator, you don't expect it to. Now, if you put wrappers upon wrappers upon wrappers around that calculator, so it just becomes the calculator, but everything else gives it the context, the situation, what the timestamp, then it can be done. Now, Gemini or Copilot has a little bit of that, and Gemini is getting better in that they're aware of your other chat streams. Yes, it's not like every chat stream is now individual. They actually can go and take a look at your other chat streams.
yeah.
And then they put it, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask Tears or something, because I think I understand something. There's another advantage to Marblism as well, if I understand things correctly. Your, let's say your marketing person, Tirza, can talk to your blog writing person, right?
Yes.
Exactly. And then you have a chief of operations, or whatever, that coordinates those together. And with Claude Cowork, you only have Claude, or you can call it your CFO if you want. And Claude gives instructions to this agent or that agent or that agent, and they report back to him. They cannot coordinate between each other.
Yes, that's
Claude
correct.
Code does that. I've got Claude Code fully installed on my machine. It took me, I don't want to, I'm embarrassed to say how long it took me, but it is properly, completely set up way beyond my knowledge, because I followed a instructional. Um, but I don't know how to use Claude Code. So I'm stuck with Claude Cowork, which you have a director of directing the different agents, and they report back to that director. But the blog writer is not going to talk to the CMO, marketing, officer, to make sure I'm getting the most bang out of my blog, type of thing. So Marblism has a big advantage there as well, because the agents can coordinate with each other.
Yes, that's correct. And I found that to be true also in the another agentic platform that I was using, which I got off of, not because they aren't good, because it was just yet more things for me to play with. That was the one out of New Zealand, but it's a similar thing. you correctly point that out, Dean. They can talk to each other, and Eva can talk to all of them. My only, I don't know, I haven't tried it lately. My complaint earlier about Marblism was that if you gave Eva in overall instructions, she did things from her perspective, talking to all of them. Or if you talked to Penny, who does the blog, and say, please coordinate with, oh, not Stan, but Sunny, then she would. But if you, for whatever weird reason, interrupted Eva's train of thought or delegation, then you just had a bunch of confused agents and had
Oh,
to
wow.
start over. So, um,
That's an interesting concept. I've heard relationships of the agentic workflows and whatnot to corporate structures. And in software engineering, you would have a program manager, a project manager, or a product manager. You'd have a team lead technical, you'd have a team lead manager, and then you'd have workers on, back end, database, front end, GUI, whatever. And somehow they all work together. And if they have a question, they know who to go to. Unlike a military structure, which is sounding like what, Dean, you say Claude Code is, you've got the drill instructor or the sergeant, and every private's got to go ask the sergeant. The privates can't talk to each other because they're privates. They don't know any better. They must talk to the sergeant. Sergeant's got to coordinate them all. So yeah, I know in the coding industry, they're working towards that more flavorful, where if a database engineer needs to talk to the GUI engineer, they'll get together without having to go through a PM or a tech lead or something. But I haven't seen anything, really that's set up that way for coding and that.
so Hermes doesn't do that on your end?
Well, Hermes is individualistic. It will coordinate agents to go off and do stuff for you based upon its skill sets. But I don't know about reporting back or communicating. Reporting back to the main coordinator, the orchestrator, yes. But talking amongst themselves, I don't think so. I don't think it has that capability. But that's what I want to take a deeper look at. For right now, I'm just trying to figure out is what is Hermes actually sending to the local model. I'm running Gemma as my local model. And it's through Olama as the one that actually brings the model up. And then there's actually a gateway now so I can communicate via Telegram. So I have to actually start up a shell, which is a window within Windows under the Linux operating system. That starts the gateway, and now I can talk to the model without me doing any other startup command, which is nice. But I want to see in the log or have it inject in some text file what is the prompt that just goes to the model. At that last step, that way I would see what is the system prompt that something's wrapped around there, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Right.
Then it goes into, what I think it's the notes in the project AI still ask questions about already worked on. That prompt, that is the last prompt, the amalgamated prompt of everything that goes to the model has got to have everything in it. And it can't be super big. And they talk about 30,000 tokens. That seems to be the magic number where all these models start going off the deep end.
Wow.
So what does 30,000 tokens look like in the final prompt? And that's really kind of go along with the question that I'm trying to answer now.
Right, right. I just noticed this morning, so I was looking over ChatGPT, which is rapidly rolling out more functionality and taking away other parts of functionality over the last few days. So, in fact, I created a mini demo yesterday using ChatGPT to talk about ChatGPT, and then I get in this morning and it says the layout was already different, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, now I have to start over." So,
Welcome to my world.
yeah. It was, well, Here's not a direct answer to you, Paul, but on ChatGPT, I think one of the settings I noticed, or the things that I noticed, was you can ask it or find the place where it will show you what your usage has been so far. To me, I'm guessing it's not granular enough to do what you're doing, but you can kind of see, like Dean, you could see how you've used up 98% of your tokens, stop for the day. You might be able to do
Yeah.
that, but like Paul, I don't know if it would say, well, Dean, you've spent this much time chatting and this time much time doing tasks, and task A cost you more than task B. I don't think it's going to do that. That's my guess. So
Yeah, they don't have the fidelity yet. And if you listen to some of the news reports, it's really getting into this comedy of releases where they say, yeah, the government's getting involved because it's too powerful and whatnot. And it says, okay, here you've got the smartest model in the world, and it can't tell that it's being hacked or utilized for nefarious means. How smart is it? It's like, so, but it
Great
all goes,
point. Great point.
yeah, it all goes down to these wrappers, the infrastructure around the model, and then what is that final prompt? And the final prompt, if it's actually the system prompt, is usually kept pretty well secret because from the public. Because if you know what the system prompt is, then you can add to your prompt something to counteract the system prompt and therefore do nefarious things, which is why you hear about all the code breakers breaking the system and getting around give me the contents for a virus that, will destroy the world. And, you know, the LLMs will not do that, will not give you anything that will be bad unless you talk them through it, around it somehow. It's for a video game or you convince them. And all that open stuff, like it's for a video game or I'm doing a test or whatever, the system prompts know better now.
yeah,
So that, yeah, you can't just ask it.
that's a good thing.
You know what's amazing to me, and sooner or later, I think the humans are going to get involved and stop this, but Gemini will gladly give you help with your Claude prompts. When you tell it, I am building this for Claude, and ChatGPT will gladly help you with your Gemini problem. And when you disclose this is to help me with Gemini, they have absolutely no problem in doing that. And that is knowing what we all know about capitalism, in America. I'm 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 sure that there's going to come to a point where Perplexity or Anthropic or whatever, going to say, oh no, if somebody asks about this, just say you don't have any information.
I hope not. I hear
I
what
mean,
you're
I hope
saying,
not
Dean,
too.
but I really hope not. So, but because I do what I started doing probably a couple of months ago at least, maybe since April, a daily summary, the end of my day, so that I recount what I did, and then I've been feeding the daily summary into ChatGPT just to get some feedback from it. So the reason it knows what I'm doing is because I actually say what I'm doing. I did this in Cowork today. I allowed Claude Code to do this, that sort of thing. And so ChatGPT says, "Well, this is what I've been observing. The way you interact with your AIs has been evolving over time." Because I still obviously use ChatGPT for some work too. So I kind of go back and forth to between them doing slightly different things. So you're right. And to Paul's point, because it's not necessarily conscious or situational awareness, it's not none of them are acting from an ego like we're used to.
Yeah,
So,
that's the good news. That's interesting, Tirza. What I have been doing, I think about a month ago, I experienced my devastating memory loss after I worked like 5 hours on something. And the next morning I went and, okay, let's complete this work. And they go, what work? So what I do every day now at the end of each session is I have the AI write a activity summary of everything we accomplished today, pros and, the good and the bad. and then I make sure I have that document and I have it saved in a folder.
Mhm.
And I do that for GHL, I do it for Claude, and I do it for Gemini. I haven't done that for Claude, but I have never taken all three or four of those and given them over to one to say, analyze this or do whatever. I think that's really smart. That's really, really good. And the fact that it can make an observation, it's got to make you feel better that your interactions have evolved and your understanding has increased, and I think that's something that I'm gonna start doing for myself because I just think that's so interesting.
All right, well, let us know what happens because that is interesting.
No, I appreciate that idea.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad.
Well, that's why we're all here, right? We
That's why we're
exchange.
here.
Yeah.
We're all sharing what we're doing. So, one of the things that I talked about with ChatGPT this morning, actually, I started first by talking about it with my husband. Then I talked about it with ChatGPT. What I'm finding, and don't laugh, I'm finding that I'm talking to more humans about what I'm doing with AI than ever before, and I think that's a really good thing. Whereas before, I spent a lot of time talking to AI, and so now I'm feeling a little more balanced about things. But I said to my husband this morning, um, I think many of us, because we grew up in a do-it-yourself, be independent mode, and our parents and probably our grandparents before us were this independent, get it done yourself. It's really great, and there's that's a good thing. However, I'm wondering if a lot of people are not used to delegating. And I was speaking then to my husband for myself. I said, I'm not used to delegating to either humans or AIs. And so that's been a muscle that I've had to enable and start to learn to use. So my husband says, well, that's an experience, a trust issue. Um, my husband makes really great dishes in the kitchen, and the reason he says because I do it better than what I can get at a restaurant. So that's just an example. So I'm wondering if just because Claude or Anthropic or OpenAI and ChatGPT are saying here's agentic mode, we made it easier than ever. Most people are saying Eh, okay, but I'd rather just talk about it and still go do it myself. And
I,
Peggy brings up lots of examples about why that's so.
I was going to say that's the very humanistic aspect of why change, or what is the aversion to change. And sometimes people are just super excited and they're the ones that are the bleeding edge and just doing things because they enjoy doing things. I look at them and they don't actually get anything accomplished because they're always switching. But then you go back and you got to say, well, if you just continue doing the same thing the way you've done it before, somebody else is going to get faster than you by using the new technology. So you got to be somewhere in the middle. I think talking with people about AI and what you're doing in AI is a great way to basically articulate your thoughts of how do you take that next step and become the manager of a bunch of minions because they're not very smart. They're smart. They're like savants. They can do really good calculations. If you've got the right calculator, they can write a program. Maybe it will work. They can download a website of phone numbers and yeah, maybe that will happen and it will go into your other projects. But
But
yeah,
maybe
you
they
got to
couldn't make coffee.
yeah. They're young minds that they don't know what to do in the real world. And we don't know how to control them because we're not used to even, unless you were a manager of people. And even that's a challenge because people do want to do their own things too. And you got
Yes.
to be able to gauge, let the software engineer go off down this pathway because it might be fruitful versus a young person. No, yeah, you tell that person what to do and kind of oversee them until they figure out the system.
Tirza, to your point, um, I guess I haven't realized it because I'm just so excited about AI and what I'm able to, on the positive side, I'm able to actually offload some of my work to a non-human and it's actually getting done. But what my colleagues are telling me, even some of my customers, they're saying, wow, you are really passionate about AI and you're really doing this and that. And every time a gentleman in the mortgage industry that, I refer business to, he says, wow, last time we talked in February, you were doing this or that, and you are so passionate. And apparently, instead of talking about real estate, I'm talking about the AI and the things that I'm doing, and everybody around me is noticing it. And I'm like, oh, I need to dial this back. I mean, and everybody is excited also because I'm informing them about things that you and I may know and this group knows, but the general public isn't tapped into. But at the same token, I'm like, I think I need to balance this a little bit because other people are noticing how excited I am about this one thing.
That's a good point. It's a good point to notice. But if the people who are around you are appreciating it, and maybe I wouldn't dial it back too much.
Yeah.
It's not like you're taking your prospects through a walkthrough of a home and telling them all about AI.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's mostly colleagues and so forth. I let them know what I'm doing with my workflows, the the GHL version of mini chat and how that's, I got a listing appointment from that. Just a chat, constantly staying in contact with somebody, and then they were ready to book an appointment.
Hmm.
So just
Yeah.
sharing those kind of things every time I'm around my colleagues, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. So that's super cool. So I um I asked Claude and Claude Cowork to no, well I don't remember if it was Claude or Claude Cowork to set up some email templates for me in GoHighLevel. Because my complaint to Claude was what I've been doing is I did set up some templates. I found them confusing in GoHighLevel, so all I do is I copy the previous email, like my newsletter, and then just go drop in the things that Codex wrote for me. And I wanted a better way to do it. So uh, Cowork then asked for permission. I gave it permission to use my browser and to go into GoHighLevel. And what fascinated me was when it was creating the email templates, it opened up the email template maker in GoHighLevel, whatever it's officially called, and it bounced around there trying to get some things accomplished, some of the basic put the hero here, in the next paragraph and all of that sort of thing. And it finally went over to the AI, the GoHighLevel AI, and said, "Here, do this thing." And I'm watching it type this thing in there. "Here, go do this thing for me." And the GoHighLevel AI would then go accomplish it and put it up on the screen. And I was like, "Wow, that's pretty darn cool." um, the end result, unfortunately, though, was not the template itself. We got mired in an interface between GoHighLevel and my email accounts, so it wasn't able to help me navigate it at that moment. So I abandoned it for that moment. I didn't quite need it just yet. Um, but back to your point about the AIs talking to each other. I really was fascinated and it would, to me, it's typing. Well, I'll just ask the AI how to do it or to do it. So, and I'm like, okay. So we'll see. There's more interesting stuff happening. I haven't been able to go over to ChatGPT and say, "Here, go ask Claude to do this." I don't know if that would work. So, well, you guys have been doing great work. Um, do you want to see a little bit about the new ChatGPT or? All right. I'll share my screen. and share what little I've gathered this morning already. So I'm going to share my desktop. I will apologize if it looks messy, but um, there's a lot to see here. My first question to you though is what's my lower right corner of my screen? Do you see a little blue animated image?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That is one of ChatGPT's pets. At the moment, it doesn't do much more than just kind of hang around, and if I tap it, it does something. I'm pointing that out because I told ChatGPT, well, I wanted to do something more useful, like let me know that you're working on something, right? So little status updates. I don't know if you guys did. This was just go in the Wayback Machine. Microsoft Windows, back when I had a Windows machine. Microsoft's editor, whatever it was called, had one of these pets, and you could choose like a cat or a dog or something like that. And of course, for fun, I put it on my screen, and the cat would just, wander around my screen every once in a while and curl up in a ball and purr if I wasn't doing anything. And if I was busy doing something, it would wake up and have its ears perked up. It didn't actually, it followed what my motions were. It didn't actually do anything for me. But that's what this reminds me of. So, first I started with this guy. I found out this morning you could choose any number of pets, and so all different shapes and things, but pretty much they don't do anything yet except just kind of hang out. So, just thought I'd mention that. So, oh, ah, yes, Dean, thank you. Absolutely. Okay, so I need to move things around here. This right here where my thing, this is ChatGPT in a browser. I'm going to make that distinction between this ChatGPT, and I'll click over here. Now you should be looking at my ChatGPT app. And I'm bringing that up because as ChatGPT is rolling out its new functionality, it seems to be pretty uneven about what it's making available where. And, for example, ChatGPT app on my phone, I can talk to my phone in voice mode and ChatGPT will answer me using its voice. So that's helpful. However, I can't do that here. As I pointed out, the best I can do is, I'm not going to do this, but here's the microphone. I can talk to it, but it's going to answer me in text. That's how it is for now. Now, popping up, here's what's new about the app is your chat's up here. It's got some other things you can do that you may not have started using yet. I haven't. It's got 3 of my projects pinned over here because these are the ones I access the most. But I can go down here and find a lot more projects that I have. This is currently in chat mode. I'm pointing that out because let's pop back over here now to the browser. And Helen was most upset with me, not with me, but with ChatGPT a couple of days ago, primarily because I said, "Oh, you're going to love it," and she came back and said, "No, I'm not loving it." And the reason she's not loving it is because she couldn't find her GPTs. So it turns out, for now, you can only access your custom GPTs from the desk browser. So if you rely on custom GPTs, you'll only find them in the desktop browser. The other thing that I want to share then about that is OpenAI is trying to move us away from the GPTs, and more into up here. I just want you to see there's chat here, there's work here. They want you to start using work more often. So the things that you might have asked your GPTs to do, you can now start to ask for them in here, But they're not throwing away your GPTs yet because they recognize we don't like to do that, and we don't. So, um, obviously, it's telling me I can add more tools here. I can ask it to learn my writing style, and I can choose a pet or not. The reason I think that came up is because I already enabled it. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you notice the voice interface showed up on the right hand, lower right hand, next to the microphone?
Ah, that was not there before.
Right, it wasn't there a minute ago.
Yeah.
It just showed up.
Ah.
And a lot of times when I click on the microphone, and not until I hit send, the little blue globe, like on your phone, will
Mm-hmm.
show up on your screen here. And I'm guessing that if you click on that golden voice interface there, that blue globe will show up on your screen here like it does on your phone.
Okay, but hang on. This is under the chat section, so this was probably my discussion about it. So if I
Oh,
click on that, unfortunately, no. This is where I was talking about. I started off the whole thing with first question, can I enable voice mode? So unfortunately, Dean, this is my chat about it. So, but good catch. But over here, you're right. Here it is, which, by the way, wasn't there when I started earlier. So, it's asking if I can do that. Yes. Well, hello
Yes.
there. You weren't there
Hello.
earlier.
I'm here now. What do you need?
I'm just demonstrating you to my open office hour audience. And one of the things we talked about earlier was the ability to interrupt each other as we're conversing.
Exactly. That's one of the biggest advantages to voice mode.
Okay. I'm going to turn that off for now. She won't, because I chose a female voice, I think. She won't enter a conversation unless you have her enabled. And even then, she'll hang out. It's trying to be more human-like in conversation. So there will be, thank you for pointing that out, Dean, though, because that was not there before. And
Take a look at your desktop app now.
yeah, let's see if it's over there.
There.
Nope.
Yeah. Go into a new
A
chat.
new chat. Let's see. Nope.
Not there.
Not
It
yet.
is on my Windows machine.
No, say something, click on the microphone and ask it something that
That's
might
just
enable it.
dictation. Yeah.
Yeah, hi ChatGPT. It looks like I still can't converse in voice mode with you via the app, but only on my desktop. Yep. It's thinking. That actually lines up with the current rollout, is basically what it'll say, or is saying. So make sure you're running the latest desktop app. Well, I already upgraded that this morning, so it will take a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, the Apple is behind the PC today.
Oh, that's what I wanted to mention to you earlier, Paul, you specifically, but for all of us, for those of us who have the the iPhones, they are upgrading their Siri. It's more than that. It's more than just Siri AI, though. This is the ability to do a lot of AI work from your own phone with your own data. It will only go to the cloud if it needs to. So what that means is, I have a 15 max or something like that. Whatever's the highest level in the 15 model. 15 and 16, I'll be able to run Siri AI here. But when it needs anything, it'll go to the cloud for either for more compute power, like asking Gemini, or whatever. 17 and 18 and above, it will be able to run everything directly on your phone. So the difference is the I think the M chip or something, which is Apple's primary AI chip. So just to know, the reason I'm telling you this is because the business applications for that are going to be enormous as people begin to understand what they're going to be able to do just from their phones. So, yeah. So what else? What else would I was planning to show you? Oh, right. So let's go back to, if I click on new chat here, this is from the app now. You'll see what's now familiar. You can chat. So you could ask ChatGPT questions as you've always done. And then work. This is when you have a specific outcome that you want it to go do. So, for example, I could say, scan my email for new tasks I might have missed. And it'll go off and do that. Well, over here, because I earlier gave it permission, by the way, to go to my email. And if I hadn't, it would have asked me for permission. But here it's just saying you can see it's working, and I'll use the Gmail inbox triage workflow to look for recent messages. Dean, this is somewhat similar to the skills that you're talking about. So what's happening in the greater AI community is the people who are already used to coding and like coding are still using Codex or Claude Code or whatever other coding apps that are out there. Oh my goodness. It says I couldn't access the Gmail connector. It appears unavailable or disconnected. Okay, what's interesting is that over here you'll see, here's my Codex app summary. It does this for me already. I'm just saying, about a week ago or so it said, would you like me to scan your email box every day and give you a morning brief? And I said, yes, go ahead. So, so it's already connected via Codex. I'm not going to go debug that right now. So anyway, hang on, let me go look at my chat. Peggy, chat no longer opens as a full screen. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't look anything like yours. I finally got it to work, but doesn't look anything like yours. It no longer has a new chat in it. So I don't know. And I'm in the middle of a few things. I didn't want to shut it down and start over, but I'll do that later.
When you upgrade, Peggy, because yes, it did look different. When you upgrade your app, this will look different. What you may be seeing is over here. You can click on it here. I have to keep moving this out of the way. Over here, when I click on the little down arrow on ChatGPT in the upper left corner, it gives me ChatGPT or Codex. Well, ChatGPT is exactly this. And let me get out of Codex. Hello.
Doesn't give me Codex.
Yeah, you may not have Codex yet. It'll give you this chat or work place. They're really so here's what I was going to talk about with this AI community itself. A lot of people were complaining about this work thing. It's like, what is this? This is terrible. Well, here's the reality. ChatGPT or OpenAI, sorry, created work for the billion other users, ChatGPT users on the planet who are still using ChatGPT to chat only. Those who are already using Codex, this is not for them. This is for the chat. OpenAI is trying to move people from only chatting to maybe chatting and figuring out what you want it to do, and then taking that, whatever you come up with. In fact, if you go through your whole chat with ChatGPT and say, I want to accomplish, X, Y, Z, and you go through the whole thing, then at the end you say, okay, great, what do I tell work about this? And ChatGPT will tell you, you copy that, and you just go over to work and say, do this thing. And off it will go off and do the work for you. So they're really trying to teach us to move from chatting about it to asking it to do something. So that's what they're working towards. I suspect Claude does the same thing when you've got Claude where you can still chat with it. You've got Cowork where you can tell it to do things for you. And then Claude Code will do it for you more automatically. So that's where we're heading. That's where I'd like to, if it's something that you guys would like, to get better at exercising our delegation muscles and give it small tasks to do. Just like you might do with an assistant, give your human assistant, your virtual assistant, something you A, know how to do, and B, you expect that they can do well. That's part of establishing the relationship. Do the same thing here. So go play with things. That's kind of my homework assignment for you maybe for next week, is just come in here and ask it to do some things. Just one thing for it to notice, I have this, it's kind of a light gray box, but it says right here, ask for approval. And that way you'll feel hopefully more secure about asking it some things. When you're ready, when you feel like it will do the things that you ask properly, then you can go here and say approve for me, or full access, which, as you can see, it's in red letters because you better not click this unless you're absolutely sure you know what it's going to do. So they're just trying to ease you into what you can later ask Codex to do. So just wanted you to know. So I see we've gone over 11 here. We'll spend more time with this in the coming weeks. And if you do try these things, then please report back next week. So
Great session. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
all right, see y'all
Bye.
next week. All right, Paul, are you leaving soon, or you're?
Mid-September.
Oh, okay.
So I still got a couple of months to plan out the itinerary.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.